All right, Yasmine. So I'm watching your first episode of The Return of Quantico, and I'm thinking to myself, forget what I'm doing. I'm becoming one of you.
Changing your job.
You get to go sleep with random people, and it's all for love of
Nima
country.
didn't get to do it. And on the table read, I have to tell you this very funny story. When we were reading this script, I stood up, and everyone was shocked. What is she doing? And I said, I object. My character does not get to sleep around. And that is not fair. And everyone was laughing like crazy. It is a very interesting episode. I was just saying to my colleagues, I'd like to call it Kill or Kiss. The characters have never been
That's actually a hell of an idea. That's a hell of an idea for its own show right there, like on Bravo, Kill or Kiss.
I'll cast you on the show.
I want to host Kill or Kiss.
You want to Kill or Kiss?
Oh my God.
You want to star on Kill or Kiss? I have never seen our characters getting physically so close, really that close, and you're like, Kill or Kiss. It's the episode of that. It's beautiful. It's approaching seduction in a very interesting way. And again, how far are you willing to go for the job that is protecting your country? I think you and I would do anything.
I know I would. Listen, I'm in.
You would.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Oh my God. You're saying it, not me.
No, I am. Okay. It is me. I'm in. Hire me, FBI. If that's what
the
you.
CIA.
Or I'm sorry. That's CIA, FBI, government, whatever you need. If that's the job, I'm in. Uncle Sam needs me. I love this show, so I got to tell you, I think I love it because most of all because it tackles today's topics. I mean, terrorism. Yeah. Is arguably the most relevant and talked about item in government today. Mm-hmm. Your show tackles it head on. Talk to me about being part of a project that touches on such an important issue.
I think what I would like to say today, because people always want to try to resume what our show is about. And if you want to say that in a simple way, yes, there's always a terrorist and we're always trying to find who she or he is. From a more interesting perspective for me, to be able to portray so many characters that come from different around the world, different parts of the world, from South Africa, Pearl Tusi, Russell Toffee, Britain, Aaron Diaz, Mexico, our American cast, Jake and Johanna, and Ellis, the great Blair Underwood, Tracy, who is originally, I think, from Nigeria. I'm half Egyptian, half Palestinian. Priyanka is Indian. The simple fact that they cast those people on one show and brought them together to step into characters' feet and tell their stories, and all those people are together, and they have to figure out how can they work together to save the world. I think that's the best. How can I say? That's the best way I can use to resume why our show is so important when you talk about terrorism. Because in my opinion, the most dangerous thing when you talk about terrorism is to be ignorant. An ignorant person is more dangerous than a terrorist. Because an ignorant person has no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what's happening in the world. And with our ignorance, we can be more harmful. If we can step out of our zone and learn about the world, travel, see where people come from, and see how we share almost everything. We all share the same dream, the same human agenda. We all want the same things for our kids. We all want to be happy. If you can identify to the other who is different than you as just the same human being that you are, we won't be dealing with so much terrorism. I believe so.
It's actually a great segue into what do you think about the conversation right now? We have a new administration coming in, and obviously they have their views on how to handle immigration and how to handle terrorism. What are your thoughts on everything going on right now?
Well, I've been discussing it with my husband on my way here. I do trust the American people. I can only tell you that. I'm reading about this women march on next week. Yep. And I'm so excited. I have seen posters yesterday of 3 women. One of them is like blonde, one of them is veiled, one of them is African American. The simple fact that they made this poster, the simple fact that I'm seeing everyone I know on social media going on promoting, going down the street and walking, there's something very important to understand concerning what's happening in America is your rights as a human being should have nothing to do with the political men who are in power. You should always stand for your rights. Sometimes you do not have the luxury to have the right political representation, because unfortunately politics is a very corrupted game. I'm not well placed even to talk about politics, because who am I to talk about politics? I don't think I'm equipped or educated enough about the subject. But I have traveled enough, and I have learned one thing every time I have traveled. I have learned that every time I was afraid of someone and I like tried to stay away from them and I did not engage in a conversation with them, is because I was afraid of them being different, of them not liking me, of them maybe wanting to hurt me. And every time I stepped that border and engaged in a conversation with people, wherever cities I have been around the world, I realized I was mistaken. The other, who are different, are not scary, they're not monsters, they're not here to eat my food and steal my job. The other is just as human as me and as nice as me and as kind as me. And I trust that the American people are made of that. They are made of a long history of immigration from all around the world, and I don't think anyone can deny it. Trying to deny it would be hypocrite and absurd, and I don't think it will work to deny who the American people are and how they were made.
I want to pay you an enormous compliment. You're a great actress, but you'd be a heck of a politician.
You think so?
I think you would be. I just got lost. I'm like, I'm ready to run you for president.
I want to do Kill and Kiss. That's more fun.
You can be an executive producer and the president at the same time. Donald Trump has proven that. He's still executive producer on Celebrity Apprentice, and he is president. So he set the blueprint for your future.
Well, contrary of him, I'd like to be very educated and very equipped when I do this job.
I wanted to ask you, you play twins. How hard is that? Like, I'm thinking to myself, it's hard enough probably to play one character, but when you have to look the same but bring two different characters to life, what's the challenge?
It's exciting, but I have to admit that the credit in that goes to many people that you don't see on camera. There's a whole team of special effect. There's the amazing Tony, who's our DP. There's Josh and the writers in the room who are constantly looking for the right lines and the right words that will protect the integrity of each character separately from each other. For me, as a source of information, it's really the world I grew up in. I really grew up in a family where my cousins are veiled and I am not. I'm a dancer, I'm an artist, I need to express myself. I lived in Paris 10 years studying art, where women walk in the street without wearing a bra. And in my family, there are people who are very religious, who pray 5 times a day, who dress in a veil, and they are the nicest, kindest people in the world. If you come to my family, like my mother would be cooking the whole day and making sure she overfeeds you. So there are kind people where I come from, and I just used that to portray who Nima and Reina are.